The corporate tax is probably one of the most inflationary taxes in the country. Nobody ever talks about it in the corporate media. Nobody gives a shit. But we impose some selective tax on some product, potentially temporarily. And oh my god, the prices are going to go up. Don't you know it? The people who didn't give a shit about inflation for 4 years, oh my god, prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then
Was
this
dope.
avocado specifically, right? Well, let's. I think this topic is a good way to start moving and talking about sectoral balances in the sense of let's talk about some tariffs because we're when we were going into the 2024 election. Obviously, there was this big talk on tariffs, and Trump was making this big talk about we're going to collect so much money from all these tariffs, right? We're going to have the External Revenue Service because we're going to be collecting so much money from them, and we won't need the Internal Revenue Service anymore. And a lot of people were going, that doesn't make any sense. You're not going to make enough money in order to do that. And, you know, like we talked about in our last show, like here's the 40 million different pieces of academic papers showing why these tariffs are a bad idea. And I mean, what did we find out in 5 minutes? It was a political move, not an economic one, because everybody's backing down, right? I mean, it's. I think it's just delicious to
Yeah, I
watch.
mean,
Yeah,
it's just um, if you want to be effective in politics, you can talk all day long, you can complain all day long, you can do what the first Trump administration basically did for the most part. But the US is a huge importer in the world. It's a huge suction mechanism on the resources of the world. So a lot of businesses in other countries are dependent on US consumers and producers buying stuff from them. And so, by virtue of that, the government in the US has big economic leverage on all these countries because, like Canada, something like 70% of its exports, was that
yeah.
to the
I've
US,
my
Mexico?
understanding is each Canadian province is more connected economically to the states below it than they are with each other.
Yeah.
So, in a
Or
certain sense, it kind of already is the 51st state.
Yeah, no, I mean Canada is the US's largest trading partner, as far as I'm aware. Last time I checked, at least. So yeah, there were two economies that are very integrated, but the U.S. economy is huge. The Canadian economy is tiny, so they depend on us. And so you can tell them all day long to fortify the border in Mexico, for example, and they will laugh at us. Ah, yeah, whatever, okay. And you can cut off their means of subsistence or threaten that, and suddenly they can do all these things. Amazing,
Right,
right?
right. Well, and then it shows again going back. We said, Doge. The part of the sales pitch was, "Hey, we're gonna address the budget." I've already said. I mean, mathematically, it doesn't even come close to addressing the budget for reasons that we just discussed, and it appears to be more political than anything. Well, same thing I'm noticing with these tariffs is that first off, Trump wants the border situation cleared up, but he also wants these other countries to start buying stuff from the U.S. Now, I got two MMT sides of things here because we're getting a bad deal because we got more money going out than what the money's coming in. Well, from an MMT perspective, that's not necessarily a bad thing because we're creating money out of nothing and sending it over there, and we're getting actual real goods and services back, right? But on the flip side, if we're tackling with the fact that people don't understand the spending and the taxation, and we have to have enough private sector net savings. If the trade balance is able to be adjusted where more money is coming back into the United States, are you following me here, Nima? That would also increase the private sector net savings.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
If our current account deficit is reduced, then that could offset other cuts to private sector income, such as federal government spending cuts, for example, because the foreign sector's deficit is the domestic private sector's surplus.
right. Well, and then that also makes me wonder because again, if we take a step back from the economic situation and look at the national security situation, there is a level of national security to be able to say, hey, we need to be able to build our own stuff.
Yeah, not just yeah. So it goes even deeper than that. Actually, I was wondering if I want to show the chart of private sector leverage that we have, but um, you know, why do I go to the gym? Why do I train? Why do I go through the pain of going to the gym, Dylan? Can you answer that
Yeah, because you
question?
want to be the sexiest man alive.
Exactly. Am I going to be the sexiest man alive if I import a bunch of potato chip bags and Netflix subscriptions, sit on my couch, and enjoy all these amazing goods and services that the economy offers?
Well,
Of
you
course
could go
not.
woke and convince yourself that you are.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of that? That might be
No.
a good idea.
No, I've seen the
No, the answer
results.
is no. Right.
So, and this is something that Alexander Hamilton supposedly also talked about. Uh, Somebody who talked about it years ago on a podcast. You may have heard it. I think it may have been the Peace Revolution podcast or whatever. But Alexander Hamilton made the point we want to keep manufacturing in the US because the purpose of the economy is to keep our minds sharp, is to invent things, is to get more and more inventive, is to improve and think and think and think all the time. It's not to go shopping. It's a totally different views on the purpose of the economy, right? And the US, I guess, economic class has gotten used to this notion that the economy is all about shopping.
It's there to serve you like you're God,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Whatever it is, the thing that you want, you're supposed to get it, and the free market's supposed to get it there for you. And if anything interferes with the free market, that's basically an affront to God,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I think that's important to keep in mind. We don't want to. We don't only have an economy to go shopping. We have an economy to keep our minds sharp, to um, live a life with purpose. I guess to some extent. I
It,
don't know.
yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's also worth pointing out we have the resources here,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's not like we're some Japan or something that doesn't have its own oil, or it can't grow
Right.
enough of its own food, or whatever.
Yeah.
We have everything that we need. Not everything, but in terms of the basics, we have everything. And
Pretty much.
this idea that we need to mollycoddle all these little countries all over the earth because they might get mad and stop sending us their coffee from Colombia or
Yeah.
whatever, as if the whole rest of the world doesn't make fucking coffee,
Yeah,
right?
Chuck Schumer held a speech and held up an avocado. Apparently, somebody, this avocado is gonna get more expensive because it's okay. So, we impose a selective corporate tax on some goods and services in this economy, and it is the greatest disaster that the Democrat Senate Majority Leader has ever seen in the realm of economics. It is so bad. But do Democrats ever talk about a universal corporate tax applied to all corporations in the country?
Yeah,
So
they when they talk about it, they want it to go up, right?
they raised them under Biden. They constantly argue for higher taxes on corporations. So the corporate tax is probably one of the most inflationary taxes in the country. Nobody ever talks about it in the corporate media. Nobody gives a shit. But we impose some selective tax on some product, potentially temporarily. And oh my God, the prices are going to go up. Don't you know it? The people who didn't give a shit about inflation for 4 years, oh my God, prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then
What a
this
joke.
avocado specifically, right? Yeah. No. I mean, it just gets. It's like this super short knee jerk reaction. Like, if you put the tariff for 25%, this dollar is going to cost $1.25. Ah! Like, well, What happened when we did it? Oh, nothing. Oh, that's interesting. They buckled immediately because we had all the leverage. Like we know that we have all the leverage the whole fucking time. Everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow this channel. I think we cover a lot of good stuff. We're covering ideas that you're not hearing anywhere else. Economic ideas, historical ideas, systematic politics ideas you're not hearing anywhere else.